Retired FDNY firefighter finds daughter, 30, strangled in Howard Beach Park hours after she went jogging. The father of slain Queens jogger Karina Vetrano had a bad back, and a worse feeling, when his devoted daughter left on her nightly run. The vivacious 30-year-old, who typically jogged alongside her dad, ignored his warning to avoid an overgrown trail and ran right into the hands of a merciless killer, cops said Wednesday. Though cops say it appears she fought desperately, her father, Philip Vetrano, found her lifeless body, strangled and likely raped, face down amid the towering weeds about 15 feet off a desolate path in a Howard Beach Park. Neighbors say the 10-foot-high growths along the trails allowed predators to lie in wait and partiers to drink and do drugs without fear. "This was heaven, and they made it hell," said local resident Dorothy Tusillo. "She was such a beautiful girl." Police believe an attacker tore at the victim's clothes during the killing, with the jogger suffering scratches on the lower part of her body and scrapes on both legs. Police sources said there was bruising to her buttocks and the backs of her upper thighs. There were signs of vaginal and anal trauma, the sources said. Her panties were pulled down below her buttocks, the sources said. Her headphones and one sneaker were missing. Philip Vetrano, an FDNY retiree, had begged off joining his daughter on their nightly run because of a balky back. His daughter was found about 14 blocks from home around 11 p.m. There were no arrests in the killing, although police interviewed 2 homeless people who may live in nearby Gateway National Recreation Area. A police source said the killer was possibly a transient rather than a neighborhood local. "This is not like Central Park," the source said. "You can get into this area from the Belt Parkway and from other locations. The fear is this could have been someone passing through, not some homeless guy living there." Cops were also examining recent rapes in Brooklyn's 75th precinct, just across the borough line, for possible connections to the murder. An autopsy late Wednesday confirmed Karina Vetrano's cause of death was strangulation. The manner of death was a homicide. Cops said the victim wasn't currently dating anyone and interviews with her co-workers produced no leads. A candlelight memorial vigil held Wednesday night drew more than 200 people to the nearby Vetro Lounge, where she worked as a caterer. A devastated Jackie Hartstein, of Bayside, Queens, met Vetrano while the two were in Miami in 2011. They quickly became best friends and travel buddies. "She was always there, so beautiful and so talented, she inspired you," Hartstein said. She said Vetrano, whose 2 passions were writing and running, had surgery on her legs when she was young and was told she might never run again. "But she ran and she ran well," she said. "She did it every day. This monster took that away from her, what she loved most." Hartstein said Vetrano had struggled to move past her recent rocky relationship. "She used to feel like she wasn't loved," she said. "But you look around and you can see so many people that she didn't even know came out." Karina Vetrano, who earned a master's degree last year at St. John's University, left the house in Queens after her dad passed on their usual run. "He asked her not to run this particular path, not without him," said Chief of Detectives Robert Boyce. Edward Schnepf, 37, was outraged by the failure to trim the wild growth inside Spring Creek Park. "You have weeds over here basically welcoming crime," said Schnepf. "You shouldn't be murdered going for a jog." Neighbors said their father and daughter were frequent running partners. The pair were particularly close. Karina's Instagram feed included shots of the duo at a U2 concert in Los Angeles. The concert came after the two drove cross-country with stops in Chicago, Arizona and Kansas along with a trip to the Grand Canyon. The Kansas stop was inspired by her favorite movie, The Wizard of Oz. The hashtag "like father like a daughter" was on one of her photos. She loved to travel, and described herself as a thrill-seeker and daydreamer on Instagram. She posted a photo on Instagram from Nice, France, a day before terrorists left 85 people dead. Philip Vetrano was a retired firefighter who spent 14 years with the FDNY before becoming a contractor. A photo on his Facebook page shows he was part of the cleanup at Ground Zero following the September 11 attacks. "I'm so blessed to have a father I can call my best friend," she posted to Instagram recently, celebrating her father as a hero on his 60th birthday. Karina Vetrano's mother is battling cancer, neighbors said. Steve Monte, 30, who lives one block over from the Vetranos, said he saw Karina go onto the path alone sometime after 5 p.m. Tuesday at the start of her run. "She seemed happy-go-lucky," said Monty. "She was very friendly with the kids. She was always outside playing with everybody." Dozens of police officers descended on the crime scene Wednesday in a painstaking search for evidence, clues or whatever else they might find. Officers in nabbed all-terrain vehicles were also called in for the off-road search. Cops recovered a lot of forensic evidence and were reviewing video surveillance footage from nearby homes as they hunted the killer, Boyce said. Cops were using infrared cameras to look for anyone possibly still hiding in the tall grass. "Right now we're investigating anybody who uses this park," the chief added. Philip Vetrano reached out to a nabbed commander who lives in the neighborhood when his daughter failed to answer several phone calls, according to Boyce. The police official called 911 before the dad, at one point smoking a cigar, led police along the pair's usual running route and came upon the murder scene around 11 p.m. Tuesday. The father and the cops first discovered the victim's iPhone near a bike path. They found the body in the marshes near 161st Avenue and 78th Street. Her last message was a text sent to a friend while she was running, according to police. The path is an unpaved roadway typically used by joggers, bicyclists and all-terrain vehicles. Neighbors said that vagrants live in the woods off the secluded stretch. Neighbor Frank Guglietta, 67, said a cop with a nabbed bloodhound was walking near the park Tuesday night. "Then I woke up this morning and found out what happened," he said. "I can't imagine what the parents are going through. We're in shock. This isn't something you can get accustomed to."